Going to send it to the cloud. Okay, very good. All right. Good evening, everyone. Um, Happy third day of Kwanzaa for those who celebrate Kwanzaa. I also hope that you guys had a good Christmas. This is the last week of the year, and we are wrapping it up with our Cannabis Task Force meeting. And I'm going to bring up the agenda once more. And as I started to say, the agenda is a short and sweet one. And we have two people in the waiting room. And I'm wondering, Hakil, can you do me a favor? I was going to say, Hakil. Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Hi, Carolyn. All right. Oops. Okay. Hakil, can you do me a favor? Are you still on?
Yes, I'm here.
Do me a favor. Can you send a note to I think it's Manuel and Fazia and Manuel, just to let them know we'll let them in a minute.
Okay. I can't see them. Being that you're the host, I can't see like the participants in the waiting room. Maybe if you
Okay.
make me co-host, I don't know.
Okay, let's see if I could do that. If not, then I'll send them a quick note so that they
Yeah.
don't think we forgot about them.
Yeah, maybe if you make me co-host, I could
Yeah, I actually, believe it or not, I don't see your name on here. Hold on.
it's
Sorry.
Manhattan Community
Okay,
Board.
here we go. Yep. Okay, there you go.
Okay, yes, I can do it now.
Thank you. So
Okay.
anyway, I'm sorry, everyone. Good evening. As I said, it is the last week of the year, and this is our last meeting for Community Board 9 of the year. And I can't think of a better way to end it. And so our agenda is short and sweet. And so I'm welcoming all of you. And I would say we will call the meeting to order. And the time of the meeting being called to order is 6:42. And I don't know if anybody got a chance to look at the minutes, but they're pretty straightforward. We had a good meeting last month. We were fortunate enough to have the local the sheriff join us and explain to us how their team is working to basically tap down and control what's going on in terms of a lot of the illegal establishments that are cropping up everywhere throughout the city. And our goal is to have him, Sheriff Miranda, join us, or somebody who is local to our community board, join us and periodically report out. That was the bulk of the minutes from last month's meeting. And we also had gotten some updates from one of our community partners, which I'll transition to on the agenda. If there are any questions or comments about the minutes, you can certainly share them with me now. And or if you notice something later, you can reach out to me and I'll move forward to make any edits that are necessary, since that is an official record of what we're doing. The other thing that I wanted to share with you quickly is to let you know that one of our community partners, our Harlem Health Initiative, they are a part of City College. City College is a major partner in Community Board 9, and they asked us for a letter of support. I believe I had shared that letter of support with all of you, and the letter of support basically, hold on. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. The letter of support basically is focusing on development of a curriculum that will help to provide better more information and more education around cannabis, the opportunities associated with it, looking at policy, and just trying to make sure that anything that involves cannabis as it rolls out, as we always say, flying the plane and building the plane at the same time, what City College is trying to do is create equity in terms of opportunities in this industry and to inform people so that people are aware of what's going on. Daria, I see you have your hand up. Do you want to say something or share?
Yes, I just wanted to move that we adopt the minutes with necessary corrections.
Oh, yes, I appreciate
Second.
that. And then does somebody second that?
Chris Berry seconds.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I don't know who that was.
That's all
That
right. That
was
was
just
me.
very seconded.
Okay. Oh, I see that we have quite a few people on here. So I'm glad many of you could join. So thank you this evening. So what I would like us to do, actually, we have one applicant that is in the waiting room, and what we thought would be a good strategy from the last time we did this is to have the applicant come before us first before we continue with any other component of the meeting so that we don't have the applicant waiting for long. And so this applicant, and let me see if I can, they submitted what I was going to say is, let me see if I can share this. This applicant submitted obviously a form to OCM. Let me see if I can share it with you really briefly. The name of their establishment is Status Quo. Can you guys see it? Do you see the application?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
They're located at
3524.
3524 Broadway.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the cross street is. I guess we can ask him that. But this is what they submitted at the end of November. And so he also completed a questionnaire regarding some of the other details that we normally try to ask. The hours of operation, how they would control the crowd. And we could certainly review that maybe offline as well. But what I would like to do, and in the invitation that was sent out to the person who will be coming before us, Manuel is his name. I stated to him that we want to use this as an opportunity to meet him, and we are trying to support those who are trying to take the right path in terms of opening up a legal establishment, and use it as an opportunity to ask some questions that we might have as a community board. I started to draft some questions, and I see Miriam is on. Thank you, Miriam, for joining us, because we know how busy you are. I did use the opportunity and the suggestions you made to try to draft some questions. And I don't know if you guys got a chance to see those questions that I sent forth. I see Daria, your hand is up.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
35, I looked up 3524 Broadway. It's between 144th and 145th, closer to 144th. It
Right,
looks
it is.
like,
Yeah, you're right.
It looks like,
So is it near the other place?
yes, it is. I
The
don't know
one-
if it's the same location or if it's another building next
no,
door.
no, this is on the east side of the street.
So
It's
it's a
near that
dispensary.
banquet hall.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
But-
it's on the same side of the
Same
street.
side of the street as.
It's
Yeah.
on the same side of the
is now.
street.
It's on the
And
same
then-
side as the illegal
Mm-mm.
place, right?
Right,
Yes.
yes, it is.
Yeah, the
And-
illegal place doesn't count in what we're doing though, because they don't count.
Correct.
You gonna
They don't
count them? I
count.
guess
So-
that's something we need to talk
But
Which
about.
they-
is the other location that
Yeah,
is
but
trying
they're
to
using
apply
the
for
same
it, 'cause
address.
they need
Sorry.
to be-
I'm sorry.
Sorry, this is Valeska speaking on behalf of Cannabis NYC or SBS. And then if the applicants they need to apply within 100 feet between themselves.
Right.
Right.
So we know
Correct.
right. So the illegal establishments, our understanding is it doesn't count.
Does not count at all.
Right.
Because all the smoke shops don't
It has to
count
account because it's the same
among
address.
among the licensees that they're applying for legal places.
Okay.
So if someone is there as a smoke shop or pretending to be a regular cannabis dispensary that doesn't have any specific legal dispensary tag or license, that does not count
Okay, very good.
at all.
Right, all right. Gary, did you have another question before we move?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's a legacy hand. Sorry.
Okay, is there another question before we let Manuel in?
Yes, just a point of clarification. I want to make sure that they're not taking that same location, or if it's the same people
It
that
is
are
not.
running. But let me finish my statement, please.
It is the same address.
Thank you. I just want to make sure we can ask that question, if they're related, any connection to the people there now. That's all I want to say.
Exactly.
Okay, Miriam, you have a question or comment?
Yes, hi everyone. Sorry I'm not on camera. I have the flu and currently have a fever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Most importantly, on their application, you have to pay attention who the true party of interest is.
Absolutely,
TPI.
absolutely.
This is so important, you guys, because
Very important.
these are people who invest and will later buy out the do you understand the true party of interest? This could be dirty money, this could be out of state, these could be people who are not legit investing in this. So you really have to pay attention to who the true party of interest is on the application and who their funders are, where their money's coming from, because more than location, it's these guys have to be clean.
What's the address of
Their
the
money has to be clean.
So Miriam, in terms of when you say true party of interest, I mean, we had the application that we gave to the applicant asking certain questions and asking about and, you know, what is their affiliation in terms of equity and things of that nature. And we can certainly go through the application in more detail or even ask that question now. Now, is this a part of the application that goes to OCM?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
This is an
So-
extremely important part of the application, the TPI. This is quite possibly the most important part of that application, where their money is coming from to run this business.
Well, I mean, I guess then that's a question we should ask them outright.
And also the important thing is who this person, who these people are, because historically in other states, what can happen is if this is a social equity applicant, their true party of interest could turn around and buy them out in a few years. So you understand why the scenario that you brought up, Victor, that, you know, I know this was a concern that social equity applicants might be taken advantage of. This is where they're taken advantage of.
All right, well, then it sounds like that's a question besides asking some of the other things we would ask if they are a resident
legal
here.
dispensary only.
Right.
So how do we ascertain that? We just ask them the question, but how do we?
It's on their application.
It should be documented on their application.
When you
and they
apply, you have to give everything. So you have you can ask to see all of this.
Well, go ahead, Miriam.
Well,
So there's that, and then there's the community impact statement.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
also very important because this is how they're going to operate and be
Indeed.
good neighbors and be a good business. And this is the mechanism where in a year when they go to reapply or whenever, I don't know the exact timing, this is what you can hold against them if they did not meet up to this community impact agreement statement, whatever. Like, this is more than just running a business in the neighborhood. They have to kind of step up and, you know, be good actors.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's let them in.
Yeah.
And at least have the conversation with them. And we can follow up with OCM because what they shared with us was a little scant. I think that's the right word to use. Okay.
Monique, could you put the their form back on the
Sure, I can do that. I was trying to also put actually the one that they shared, but hold on. Show all windows. Okay, 1 second. Is this it? Let me see. Hold on, let me make sure I'm putting the, I mean, this is the one that we got from OCM. So,
3524.
yeah, 3524 Broadway.
So that's right down from Grand Slam.
You guys, you can see that?
Yes.
All right. Can we let them, can we let them in? I'm
Yes,
gonna,
okay.
I'm gonna take this off so that we can talk with them and see them.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, Valenska, did you have a question?
No, I just wanted to clarify the fact that, or not clarify, to let you know that, yes, what, Marian, I think, Marian was saying is correct.
Yes.
As I have my training that I did with the OCM that has been robust. It is very
But- I'm sorry, Valenska, you sound muffled to me. It's hard for me to understand you. Can you increase your volume or turn up your mic
Yes,
or
I will
something?
do that. I will. Can you hear me better?
I hear you a little better. Maybe
Sorry
it's
about
just
that. I
me.
don't know. I don't know. Let me just check my, I don't know. I don't want to mess up with the, so
Okay.
I'm getting closer. So I'm saying is what Miriam was saying is correct. CPIs are very important to highlight on these applications because one, you need to know what the background is, and two, and two or more, it will be the fact that they can just take up on your business anytime.
Okay.
So you need to make sure that the people that are involved in your business is legit, pretty much.
Very
And,
okay.
and that's what is really important to know, also the background and where they're coming from and things like that. And that's what you get. They ask you for background checks and they ask you for a lot of information from the people that are involved in your business as a true party of interest. And that is a high note to like figure it out among all the applicants that are trying to get into this business.
So it sounds like, because we're still, trying to get ahead, make sure we're asking the right questions, and we have guidelines that we follow, and we know this is evolving. And later in the agenda, I know we are going to be looking at our guidelines to tighten them up, to make sure that we're all good with what we're going to be looking for and asking. And even the questionnaire that we develop, if there is an additional question we need to ask on the questionnaire that speaks to the TPI portion, then we will add that as well, because we know moving forward, people are going to keep applying and we want to keep vetting them. And so this is an opportunity as a community board, as we're growing and evolving, is to make sure that we can be on top of everything as best as we can. So the feedback that we're getting this evening, this is the purpose of this meeting, besides meeting applicants, also make sure that all our stuff is tight so that we can do our due diligence as a community board to vet people. So I want to say thank you, Valenska, and of course, Miriam, who has been pushing us to be on top of and do the right thing. So with that said, let's let in our two our two people. It looks like three, actually. I'm trying to see. Let me admit Manuel and Fazia, because I think they are together.
What?
Okay, go ahead. Was there a question?
No, I just want to make sure they're together and not separate.
Right. I believe they are together. We'll find
Okay,
out.
Great.
Because I was looking at the application. That's why. Good evening, Manuel. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
we hear
All
you
right,
now.
good
Thank
evening.
you. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
We are blessed and trying to end the year on a good note. Now, I also let in someone else. Fazia, is Fazia with you?
Yes.
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 Said yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I saw those two names on the application, and I believe Fazia, are you like legal representation?
No. I am the GM for the business.
You are the what?
The GM, the general manager for the business.
I see. And Manuel, what would be your role?
Me, I just run the place. I'm owner.
Okay. So, want to once again thank both of you for accepting our invitation. And as I said in the note, we want to use this as an opportunity to meet you, ask a few questions of you, and you can ask a few questions of us. And if we're able to answer it, we will.
Madam Chair, can I just ask, Fazia, what did she say her position is again?
Oh, general manager.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say there are a few people on here, Fazia and Manuel. I was gonna let everybody just take a quick moment to introduce ourselves from Community Board 9 without taking up too much time. My name, of course, is Monique Harding Cordero. I am second vice chair on CB9, and I also happen to be a co-chair on the Cannabis Task Force. So welcome once again. I'll go to Chris. Chris, do you want to introduce yourself?
Good evening, and thank you for appearing. My name is Chris Berry. I'm new to Community Board 9. I am a Harlem resident and a Harlem supporter. I'm very interested in hearing your background and why you would be suitable for our community. Thank you.
Who are you going to pass it on to, Chris?
Let's see. I'll pass it on to Daria Hardiman, if I may.
Yes.
Good evening. I'm Daria Hardiman. I am a member of the Cannabis Task Force, a member of the Community Board, co-chair of Arts and Culture, and thank you so much for coming.
Pass
And
it on to
Carolyn.
Good evening, all. Thank you for coming tonight. I'm a member of CB9. I am a co-chair of Uniform Services, and also treasurer on CB9.
pass it on
Pass
to
it on to Victor.
Yes, good evening. My name is Victor Edwards. I'm board chair, Community Board 9. I also live about 4 blocks from your proposed location. Welcome. I'm very eager to hear what you have to say this evening. Thank you for appearing.
I guess you're going to pass it on, Victor, to Carlton.
Carlton, sorry.
On Milk Carton.
He's trying, I think. All right. There you go.
Having technical difficulty. It's Carlton Davis. I'm a Community Board 9 member.
Oh gosh.
Years Action Committee, and I'm also a member of the Cannabis Task Force.
Pass it on.
Pass it on. Let's pass it on to our person,
Laquita.
Miriam.
Hi, everyone. My name is, I'm going to get on camera. I'm sorry if I have the flu and I'm not well. My name is Miriam Aristifarer, and I am a member of Community Board 9, and I co-chair the Cannabis Task Force. Welcome and eager to hear more about you.
Okay. I think that covers everybody on CB9, correct?
Laquita Henry.
Oh, sorry,
And
Laquita.
I am a member of Community Board 9. I co-chair the Health and Environment Committee. And I believe I could pass this on to Valeska Rodriguez Ferreira.
Oh,
Okay. So Valeska is not a member of CB9, but she's joining us as an interested
Yes,
member in the work
yes.
we're doing, right?
I am a member, and I work for the city, I work for SBS, especially with Cannabis NYC, and I will conduct and try to be part of all these presentations that, or municipalities notifications, presentations that our Cannabis NYC presentees or futures licensees trying to conduct. I really want to be part of it because this is our job to be part of this and to be part of the fact that we want to all our futures licensee members are succeeding on or all their businesses. So I'm trying to conduct this from 125th up. So I'm covering all that territory from east to west. So that's what I'm here as just a co-host, as they say. So yeah,
Very good. Thank you. We appreciate having you here and
absolutely.
leaning on you. If we have questions, because we want to do
Correct.
this right.
Exactly. That's what I'm here.
And we support the people in our community who are taking on this endeavor.
Absolutely.
You want them to be successful as well. So
Absolutely.
okay. So with that said, Manuel, once again, thank you for joining us. And I guess I'll start off and ask a question of you. And I didn't get a chance to finish looking through what you submitted in terms of the questionnaire. But that will be shared with our CB9 members. Miriam, you have a question?
Yes, my first question is, did either of you complete the OCM training and compliance mentorship program? Were you part of the cohort that OCM did for the first round on compliance and mentorship for future applicants? Were either of you or anyone in your operations part of that?
I think, I don't recall.
Okay, now you would recall because it was a 6-month program that OCM
I didn't do it.
held with SUNY Mooresville to train future applicants to ensure success.
Yeah, I didn't take the course, no.
Okay, that's all. Now, have you taken any other courses? What's your experience?
No, I actually haven't
Compliance?
taken no courses, actually.
Are you planning on doing any compliance training for New York
Oh,
State?
yeah, yes, I
Where?
do.
So I'm sorry, I'm just gonna chime in here. I just couldn't get a
No, and
handle
I'm
on
just asking because this is kind of like a foundation for applicants to have some kind of training on compliance, because running a legal business is very different than, you know.
Absolutely. So I actually have training under the academy. I'm also part of
What
Caney.
academy? Can you share the name?
It's literally just called the Academy. It was originally for card licensees, so the first cohorts, for card licensees. I became a part of that through another group that was trying to get their licensing. And through that, I was able to join the Academy. They're literally just called the Academy. I don't know if name that they go
Fine.
by.
I mean, I just wanted to know if you had some idea of compliance,
Yes.
because it's pretty hefty.
Yes, absolutely. I've been on top of it, I think, since the card licenses, the application started up. I'm very, very forward when it comes to learning about the regulations and compliance regulations as well.
Are you a card applicant, either of you?
No, adult use.
I'm good for now.
Are you guys aware of the fast track that the city is offering
Through SEE applicants?
to anyone? Like the SBS as a Cannabis NYC is offering a fast track training that it takes 10 weeks to finish, and it will tell you from all what it means to have a cannabis business in New York, from whatever, all the licenses that they're offering to whatever the end of the business that you want to run. So If you would like, you just sign in to SBS Cannabis NYC Fast Track. It says Cannabis Fast Track, and it is 10 weeks training program. It's free. It's 2 days a week. You can pick the days of the weeks that you wanted to train for.
Interesting.
And that's it. It just tells you what it means to have a cannabis business in your state. And
Okay.
especially in NYC, because it's especially adapted to NYC. That's what it's called.
Thank you for that. That would be so helpful. Thank you. And I just want to confirm that was SBS Cannabis
NYC. And
NYC
it's called Cannabis Fast Track.
and Cannabis Fast.
The next one starts on October 4th. Sorry, April 4th. Sorry about that. I am confused with the with the day of the year. So
That's
the
okay.
last was October 18th. Then was another one on November, but now the new one is April 4th.
Valeska, would you mind putting that information in the chat, please?
Correct. Yes, I will do
Thank
that.
you.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm gonna mute myself.
Monique, you're muted.
Thank you. One of the first questions I wanted to ask is, are either one of you residents of Community Board 9?
I am not. Oh, I don't know if this is.
Okay. Manuel,
Yes, ma'am.
are you a resident of Community Board 9?
No.
So if you don't mind me asking, where do you both reside?
Oh, Miss Connie.
I live up on Dykeman.
Okay.
I currently reside in Astoria in Queens.
So I guess my next question would be, why did you decide to open up an establishment or want to open up a dispensary here? Since you're both not residents of Community Board 9.
Well, I've been in Harlem for over 25 years. I've been up here. I have a lot of friends up here. I know the neighborhood. I know the area. And I love the culture. I love the people. It's just, I just love everything about Harlem.
Okay. Fazia?
Hi, yes. So I actually grew up in very many places around the city. I did my fair share living up in Harlem as well as the Heights and in Dykeman, all in little bits and pieces all through my life. And I think just having met Manuel himself, who was steadfast on this, wanting to get his license for cannabis dispensary, was one of the most inspiring things as somebody who has been around that my entire life. I've, been a part of like the legacy dealers and whatnot, all throughout New York. So when I had the opportunity to jump on this with Manuel, especially in Harlem, being the neighborhood that I know very well inside and out, I thought it was just a really great opportunity for us to do, especially being on Broadway, somewhere that I'm personally very familiar with.
Okay, Daria, I saw your hand up.
Yes. Are either one of you legacy operators?
Legacy.
Legacy. Have you operated in the illegal market?
Oh, in the past, of course.
Can you elaborate? Were you in Washington Heights, in Harlem? Were you strictly marijuana? Like, were you arrested? Did you get, offenses?
Correct. Were you arrested for?
Yeah, strictly marijuana. Had a lot of arrests from early 2000 all the way up to 2008, 2009, as far as weed charges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I believe the address we are given is between 144th and 145th. There's a dispensary there right now. Are you related in any way?
That's illegal. The dispensary is illegal.
Are you related in any way to
The
that
dispensary in one
dispensary?
44, it's illegal.
Let
No.
her finish her question, please. You're a guest in this room. Let her finish her question. Thank you. Go ahead, Daria.
Are you related to that dispensary?
Yes.
There you go.
So that's your dispensary,
Yes, ma'am.
current one?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
What I said,
Okay,
that's the address.
all right.
And you own the
go ahead.
building or you're renting there?
Excuse me?
You own the building or you're renting there?
No, I rent. I'm renting.
Okay, thank you.
Question, Monique, if I may.
Yes, Chair, go ahead.
Mr. Ramirez, as far as security, what security features will you have? Because I know at this time, cannabis businesses can't deposit money in most banks. So it could be a cash business. And we're concerned with yourself, your employees, and attendees to the, the establishment being held up, which has happened in other states and New York as well. So what precautions will you be taking, for yourself and the community at large?
As far as securities, we'll have 3 securities. We'll have 2 outside, 1 inside. Checking IDs outside. When they come inside, their IDs get checked as well. Anyone I have to do with the money, I always have a security with me to take the money out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we just got to keep a safe environment for everybody.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thanks.
Question,
Can I ask a question?
Monique, can I ask a question?
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
go ahead, Carolyn.
When you say money taken in and out, what do you mean in terms of deposits or collecting?
Yeah, as far as like when I take the money out of the day, take it with me. I always have a security guard with me when I leave.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. So you're involved with the indoor location that's currently on 144?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
So isn't it part of OCM's application that if you were running an illegal place, you are eliminated from opening a legal place? That is my understanding. If you jump the gun and jump the line and have been making money without paying taxes for I don't know how many months or years at this point, you might want to check with OCM, because that was one reason to not approve a license. And with all due respect, we want to support, we want to help, we want you to cross over, but I'm curious what you think about that, jumping the gun and making all this untaxed money while other people waited.
So we will definitely be checking in with our lawyer, Aaliyah. She was listed on the form, the stipulations form. We'll definitely be checking in with her. Granted, she's been with us from day one. She also has her hands and her ties in the community, the OCM community board as well. So we'll definitely be checking in with her. And
I'm just telling you, double check that, because that is a cause for rejection of an application. And I'm not trying to be severe, but you might want to check with your lawyer.
Absolutely.
May I ask a question now?
Yes, you may. Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you. Can I just ask each of you to give me a little background information as to any experience you have in managing any type of a retail business? Can you give me some idea of experience that you have along those lines, please? Either one, both, please.
I'm sorry, before you answer, I hear music in the background. Can somebody mute themselves?
I just muted.
Thank you. It sounds nice, but thank you. I appreciate it.
So I actually have a pretty extensive history when it comes to managing retail stores. So I actually was an assistant manager starting way back when I was, I think, like 18, 19 years old. An assistant manager at, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the stores, Fabco and Payless. I did assistant managing there for a couple of years. I eventually started working on the Upper East Side for a luxury chocolate business. I managed there for about 4.5 years. And then I did an assistant management position at Trader Joe's, one of their locations down in Midtown. So most of my history is really just managing larger teams of like, I want to say 20 or more, which is why I'm really excited to be a part of something like this. On account, we are hoping to open obviously more than one licensed business. But yeah, I'm very, very well um, first when it comes to managing larger teams and just managing in general. I've been doing it for about 10 years now.
Does the gentleman have anything to say on this regard?
Yes, ma'am. I worked over 12 years in a clothing store. I managed it. I did retail there for 15 years. It's called Blue Jeans. It's on 145th and Broadway right now. I worked with Hassan. I worked with his brother Ali. 15 years there in the retail business. It was tough, but it was a great experience.
May I ask another question, Monique?
Yes, please do. And then I have one after you.
Okay. So thank you for being honest about the current location. I'm curious because it's my first time getting a chance to talk to somebody who has a premature dispensary. And we talk about that all the time. Can you talk a little bit about why you chose to go early with the business? And just, whatever you're comfortable sharing. And also, what will you do since you have the business up and running already, what will you do if you are not awarded a license?
If I'm not awarded a license, then I'm gonna have to keep trying till I get it. As far as that, I'm just trying to follow every rule that I have to follow just to make this happen. I wasn't aware of that, unfortunately. But anything I have to do to make this happen, I'm willing to do it.
And what made you start the business early? Were you not aware that they were waiting for licensing, or?
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
Question, Monique?
Yes, go ahead. Who was that? Carolyn?
Yes,
Go ahead, please.
Emmanuel. Although you had the illegal business, it had been busted several times. Did not the NYPD let you know that it was an illegal establishment, or I'm sure you knew yourself?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
That establishment of yours has been busted on several times by the NYPD. Okay. Did you not be aware each time that they came in, it is a record to the fact of that illegal dispensary? And you were not warned?
I had only one issue with the police. That's about it. It wasn't multiple times. It was just one issue I had with the police. We resolved it. They came back a second time, and everything was cordial. They didn't do nothing.
Yeah, as I recall, the first time that they experienced something with the police at the time, this was about a year and some change ago. A lot of the regulations and a lot of the things regarding the card licensing and the adult use applications were not set in stone at the time, or were they very clear? So when we were approached by the police, they were not very clear on. I'm just relaying my experience as someone who was there when it happened, along with our lawyers as well. that they didn't have very much information for us at the time when it happened. They literally just walked in, they said that this is just, this is just routine for them, that they would be coming around and basically checking us out. And they came in, they grabbed what they needed to, and they left, and we were okay to open the next day. They had nothing to say about it following after that. So when that happened, that was just all the information that we had at the time, as far as I can remember.
I don't agree, but
Yes, and so I think this brings me back kind of to the question I had that Daria asked and Carolyn just asked again. You obviously got to jump, open up an illegal establishment. You said that things weren't clear. You guys probably had a few visits. And now you're looking to go the right way. And as it was stated, we want to support those in the community who are trying to do the right thing. I think one question I'm have in terms of listening to what you're saying, how would you be able to wrangle, for lack of a better word, control of that establishment? Because it's been set up not using the protocol that legal establishments use, from what I understand, because I've been to a few and I know there's certain protocol. How would you be able, if you were selected, to be able to transition to doing the right thing when that establishment has been set up and known to be a spot that is not legal and not following proper protocol? How would you transition to doing the proper and right thing?
Transitioning, well, take the class like the woman told me in April. Hopefully, I'm gonna jump on that. I'm gonna take that class, a 10-week class. If I have to close this down and open shop again, it will be done. I just want to do everything the right way. Yeah.
Can I just say, I know we're asking hard questions, but for real, we're the community board. I'm not sure how much you know about it, but we are volunteers. And
Okay.
this particular committee is a volunteer committee. So we're literally here and, on a Thursday night when we could be doing whatever, because we care about this and we care about, especially this particular committee, we all are very passionate about making sure, especially legacy operators, get some of this that they're giving away out here. We have to, the questions about you jumping the gun though are real questions. And again, I asked the question because I don't know any I don't know any people who are already operating a working dispensary, on the illegal side. And the questions are real questions. So, it feels like, and forgive me if I'm wrong, it feels like it might have taken you aback a little bit, but I don't feel like we're getting like a lot of answers to the questions. And maybe you haven't thought about it. Maybe, I don't know, but I think that please, please think about it if you haven't already, like how you're going to move, because the thing is, if you're trying to if you're trying to go legal, we're trying to support you. However, you already got something going on, which is also a thing that, it's illegal. And it's not like really, if you were still, and I'm not saying you were ever on the corner, but you know what I mean? If you were a corner boy, we're literally protecting the corner boys. We're like, don't run up on them. Don't do this. Don't do that. However, the dispensaries are another issue because unfortunately, while we're doing this process, when the licensees come, you already are there. They already have competition. So, you know, we're kind of trying to weigh this. And I just want to make it clear that we really want you to win. We really want you to be able to get a license. We really do. We just have to, we got to ask these questions, and, you know, and they're hard questions, and we really need for you to answer them if you can. And if you can't, please do think about it, and, you know, think about how you're going to move forward, because if you're going to be in this community, then we're in bed together. And so, you know, if we can help you, we will, but you also have to help us, because you do have a whole business that's already running. I am interested to know, and I think Monique kind of asked you this. She said, how are you going to transition? Well, you already have the business running. And if Fazia has already taken the class, then hopefully she's going by whatever she's learned in the class. However, if what Miriam said is the case, you know, I don't know if that means you never can get a license, or you can't get one in a certain time period or whatever. You know, please think about it, and also think about how we can help you in this situation. We can't help with the illegal establishment, but we can try and be a bridge in whatever we can, you know, to help you move over, because that's what we're out here advocating for the community to be able to get a piece of this pie after these years of prohibition and people going to jail for 16 years for 2 joints. Like we're on your side.
Trust me, I got arrested a lot for smoking joints in the street.
Right. We're on your side. But you know, right now you got a whole business that is totally illegal. So that's throwing a monkey wrench in it. So that's why the questions, and that's why all of that. But again, we thank you for being here and for answering the questions. But I just needed to interject that so you can understand what's going on.
I got it.
Yeah, well, obviously you're not, I was gonna say, new to the business, given what has been stated in terms of your activity. Will you be, oh, you know what? I see Carolyn had her hand up. So Carolyn, what was your question? Carolyn? You're on mute, Carolyn. Did you have a question? If you're talking, we can't hear you. Okay. Carolyn, we can't hear you. You're unmuted. Hold on.
I thought I unmuted.
Okay, now you're unmuted.
Okay. The question was, is your store still open?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So you're still running a legal dispensary?
Yes.
You answered my question. All right, thank you.
Were there other questions from members of our board?
I have a question also, the community impact statements, that's part of your application. We're the community. How do you plan on working with us? Like, what are you bringing? So part of that community impact statement and part of the legal market is that it's not just selling pot anymore. It's not just selling cannabis. You're a new industry. What are you bringing good to the community education wise? Like, how are you improving our community? Because right now in your illegal business, I see young people shopping. I see young people outside. Like, you should be policing yourselves right now, because this is beyond us. By having the illegal establishment, your application could be denied and you could be fined. This is not us just being a community board. This is the law. And with all due respect, Fasia, the law has been in place since it was legalized in March 2020. And if anything you need to know, you just go to OCM's website and everything is there. And if you are really serious about being a legal operator, you would be reading this website from start to finish, making sure you are compliant to the community that you intend to sell, which you aren't even residents of. So you got to understand, and I piggyback on Daria. We support this. We support legalization. We're not trying to stigmatize, but the legal industry has to look very different than the illicit industry. And in not being truthful, in having an illegal shop, jumping the gun, not paying taxes in advance, how are you showing that you're part of the new industry?
But not only that, he's still open.
Right.
Like I'm like Manuel, it's not looking good on you that shop's open.
Right. But
Right.
and that was
Because
a
right
question.
now you're making money.
Sorry.
That is you're making money right now. I guarantee you your shop is making money that is not being taxed, and that money is supposed to come to this community. So if you really care about our community, you would pay the taxes, because 40% of that comes back to us.
Right.
So that's why we're so like community,
Right.
because the legal market has to look different.
Right. Right.
And not only that, if he closes his shop, it proves that you're really trying to do the right thing. But by still being open, it shows that you don't care.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that's how it comes off.
Right. Yes, it does.
Period. And that was a question I certainly was trying to get at. Besides that, even the security part, people, you've been operating, so you haven't been following protocol in terms of even the security measures. And that's why I was asking, how would you transition to make sure you have a more secure establishment? And I'm not just talking about the money you're collecting and how you're going to secure that, but just making sure you don't have people congregating outside your establishment and just doing the things that we know are happening right now in front of illegal establishments that are causing concern. How would you transition from that? Because as was stated, legal establishments are very strict in how they operate, and they're very incognito and discreet in how they operate. And right now, your establishment, I think fair to say, the one now, which is illegal, is not discreet.
Yeah, it's not discreet, but there's nothing going on outside. There's nobody stands out there. Like somebody might come by, we might talk for a while, then they walk away. It's not like there's stuff going on outside the shop. Like it's just whatever goes on. People come inside, they got ID, they get taken care of. You want edibles, you want flour, it's about it.
It also speaks to the community too that we've been a part of I know we don't reside there, but we do have ties there, both Manuel and I. So if there is ever, the people there that do stop by and spend a couple of hours or even a couple of minutes, it's all within the community. They're very well known there. Manuel himself, his family as well. When they stop by, it is the community coming by and saying hi, and we do the exact same to keep our arms open to them. In terms of like security and transitioning, I know that was a really big thing that we were looking at ourselves. Just because I haven't been there for the entirety of things, but watching it happen and learning from it, I think that's the biggest thing that we're taking away from this, is learning what worked and what didn't work. And I think that's the most important thing for both Manuel and I to take away from this experience, having had the store open. Granted, same way Manuel mentioned, whatever to give back to the community, just being a part of it isn't enough. I know keeping the store open, I do agree with everything that you guys mentioned. I do see how that comes across. I do see how that works. And I do appreciate kind of giving us that perspective. I don't think we would have had that prior to this conversation. So I think that really opened open the door for more conversations with our team and the people that we do work with. I mean, I wish they were here to hear everything, but moving forward, like I said, I think this just gives us the opportunity to learn what works and what doesn't work. In terms of security, it's not just about having security personnel on hand, but also having people that are properly trained. I have been kind of doing my own little research here and there. I like to stay on top. Miriam, thank you for mentioning it as well. You're right. I should have been a little bit more on top of that. Granted, I do also work around the way a couple of different businesses as well. But I am going to try to be a little bit more on top of this too, considering it is a huge it could be something really, really great. And if not done the proper way, it could be something really bad. And we don't want that, obviously. We want to do this in the best way possible. And I do agree with you guys about the closure of the store. I think it does read better to do that in terms of for the community and for you guys to see and accept us as wanting to be there and wanting to do things the right way. But like I said before, sorry. I think I cut somebody off.
Yeah, I wanted to make one comment before I call on the two hands that are up. Lastly, we have our chair who introduced herself before, Laquita, who heads up our Health and Environment Committee. And of course, one concern in dealing and looking at the illegal establishments and there's no quality control. I'm not an expert, but we figure in legal establishments, there's some sort of quality control where the dispensaries, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, they know what they're getting and what they are disseminating. The illegal establishments, I don't think the same type of quality control is there. And so what happens is residents, our community are at risk if they're going to a place that has not been properly established and vetted. So that is also another concern for us. Besides wanting to be supportive, we want to also make sure we take care of the people who live here. And so that is definitely another area of concern. So I wanted to make sure I stated that, period. I don't know, Fazia, if you wanted to respond to what I just stated. Miriam has her hand up, and then if there was another hand up.
No, not at all. I was actually just 100% agreeing with you. Having been kind of like behind the scenes over the last couple of years, just again, I've been around the cannabis industry, the legacy cannabis industry for some time now. That is a huge concern. It has always been my huge concern, which is why I do love and favor being able to walk into a legal dispensary, knowing exactly where my stuff is sourced from, having all the information possible. Granted, I know for the store that we had for this store here, the most important thing is just sourcing, making sure we know exactly where it's coming from, making sure we know the vendors that we're buying from. A lot of them are California vendors. So we do have the most COAs, which are certificates of authenticity. So we know exactly where they're coming from. Granted, there are some things that you can't know, and that is the concern, which is why I do agree with you on that 100%. But moving forward, obviously, if we're granted the opportunity to do the legal dispensary, there is no ifs, ands, or questions about that, where that stuff is coming from. And I think that would be a really good opportunity. But I mean, obviously, keeping the store open and selling products that aren't vetted, you're absolutely right. That was a problem.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Miriam. And then after Miriam, Chris. And then after Chris, Valenska. Go ahead, Miriam.
So I know for a fact you have multiple illegal locations. This isn't the only one. Do you want to share how many locations you have?
I only have this.
There is another one on 7th Avenue in the Fashion District. There's other indoor locations in the city. I've seen them. So are you gonna deny, or are you gonna be honest with us if you have any other illegal location?
As far as I know, when we did the logo for when they did the logo, I wasn't there for the logo, but as far as I know, when they did the logo for the store, there were a few other people that were kind of fishing around the logo. So there's another one called like Top Shelf. There's another one called like, I forget what, Cannabis, and they kind of use the exact same indoor logo. So I'm not entirely sure. I couldn't speak on that.
Okay. Then also, I mean, we know where your funding is coming from. True party of interest on your application. Are you familiar with that part of the application?
The application. So I'm not sure.
True party of interest, TPI.
Yeah, Yeah, I wouldn't know who it is in terms of his application.
Manuel, anyone can share who your partners are? I mean, we know where your money's coming from, the illicit market. So it kind of is redundant for us to ask who's funding it. You're funding it. You're funding your legal operation with your illegal funds.
Correct.
Right.
And that's okay, Manuel. That's okay. You just have to be honest with us.
Correct. Yes.
It's not okay, Myron.
I mean, it's not okay, but it is what it is. So, you know,
That's part of the whole legacy to legal,
Right.
you know, it's a
Right. Thank you.
complicated,
Right.
it's complicated. It's not as easy as like,
I know. You know?
we know what's up.
Right.
okay. Chris, go ahead.
I just want to know, what hours of operation did you have in mind? Could you comment on that, please?
From 10 to 10, 10 to 11 on the weekends.
So Emmanuel, I think I was looking because I wanted to see if I could share it, but it looks like on what you filled in, and maybe because it was quick, it looked like the hours you put were 8 to 12, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.
I think I wrote that was I was helping him with the application. That might have been me. It was supposed to be 10 to 11. I don't know why I just scribbled that in. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay.
I had done the application 2 times over. I probably sent you the wrong one.
Okay. So you're saying 11 in the morning until when?
10 in the morning till 11.
10 to 11. 10
Yeah.
a.m.
To
p.m.
11
to
p.m.
11. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And Monday, what is that? 7 days a week?
No, that would be 10 to 11 would be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then Sunday through Wednesday, 10 to 10.
Is that what you're doing already, those hours?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
Question, aren't liquor stores on Sundays open at noon? So
Yes.
why are cannabis opening at 10?
Liquor stores do open at 10, Miriam.
They open at 10 on Sundays?
No,
They open
on Sunday they open at 12.
Okay, so shouldn't we be following the same for cannabis?
It's a
Well,
different
liquor
There's
heading.
probably
stores,
no rule for it
It's,
yet.
it's a
liquor
different
stores
heading.
hours change
Yeah,
it.
it's a different heading, Miriam,
Oh,
but I can
sorry,
find
one
out
person
for
at
you.
a time. Sorry, Carolyn,
Yeah.
you can.
It's a different heading, Miriam, but I can find out about, do they come under the same heading?
No
It's
big
not the
deal.
heading of
I'm just
SLA.
checking.
It's not the heading of SLA,
Okay, and
but I can find out for you.
I'm sorry, sorry, Carolyn, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you
No.
finish?
No, Miriam was asking, should we follow the same guidelines?
No,
I'm
I
telling
understand.
it's not the same as SLA. Okay,
Right.
so it's a different heading, but I can find out, do they want to follow the same way? Like I said, on Sunday for liquor stores is 12 o'clock. Okay, any other day from Monday to Saturday is 10 a.m. But liquor stores are open until 12 midnight. On the weekends, they open a little bit longer sometimes.
Got it. Now, Berlinska, did you want to make a comment?
Yes, I just wanted to ask Spacia and Manuel, if they have like protocols on training with their staff, since this is a regulator business. So what are their plans to do the training with them? Also mentioning that this market is not a cross market. Do you need to have vendors and everything has to be in New York State, California, and any of those vendors that you guys used to have are not allowed anymore if you want to do a legal market. So have you have all that in place? Because it's a different regulation since you're adult use, you cannot have more than XYZ kind of ounces maximum of purchasing and things like that. So you never mention New York, you just mentioned California, and you just mentioned the protocols that you use. Also, cannabis, it's attached to alcohol laws. And when we March 31st, 2021, we legalized cannabis in New York, what they did to cannabis, they did alcohol and cannabis. So that's why rules change and hours change. So now alcohol can be sold on Sundays as well from 10 a.m. till whatever time they want. So that's what I was trying to say, that cannabis can be sold from 10 a.m. till 2 a.m., but it depends. You have to be open 70 hours a week.
70 hours a week. Okay.
That's it. So you cannot be, so you can do your hours till 2 a.m.
Mhm.
Or you have to open later than 10 or whatever. So you have to cover 7 hours a week.
Got it.
70 hours a week. All right.
Correct.
Daria, did you have a question?
Yeah, will you have consumption? Will you have consumption on site or just
No.
That sorry to interrupt. The license is not open yet.
Yeah, it's not.
No consumption at all. Not inside the establishment.
Consumption license is not open. We have another route of licenses opening up in January. We don't know that we're trying to, we have a meeting tomorrow at 11:30. Everyone is open to join that cannabis board meeting tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. You can find that under the OCM website, and they will clarify about all the licenses that will be opening in January on.
Right.
I'm sorry, you're with OCM?
Well, I work with Cannabis NYC, but I'm attached to OCM. So I get the first intakes because I get the first intakes because I'm part of these Cannabis NYC, is part of the SBS group.
Okay,
But
I've heard of Cannabis NYC, but I'm not exactly sure who it is.
Yeah, Cannabis NYC is trying to run everything that is happening in New York City, covering the 5 boroughs. And exactly, we're part of the small business support, SBS, because all the businesses as dispensaries and micro businesses that they will open in New York as licensees they need to be part of the small business support, and they hire us. We were two of us in the whole city of New York that they were hired to cover everyone that is trying to open a dispensary or micro businesses or any type of businesses related to cannabis in the 5 boroughs of New York.
Cover? And what do you mean cover? What do you mean?
Cover meaning supporting guidance on the application, supporting any resources that they need, supporting of if they need other support on, like, because of these kind of licenses had a null location and they can open with a location and without a location. So right now we're trying to look for any what is it called, landlord that is open and willing to rent to business on cannabis, and anyone that is open to do anything on cannabis, because it's not federal legal. So we are trying to be a support system for people that wants to run a cannabis business.
So you are a business that is contracted by OCM to help applicants.
Correct.
emerging businesses.
Correct.
Question.
We're a third party.
Thank
Okay,
you.
third party to help get those people on board. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
What kind of consumption are we talking about?
There is no consumption. They're not
Not yet. The
Yeah,
consumption
no, I heard her, but I want to know, she said not yet. So going forward.
Oh,
what will-
consumption will be that you can open a lounge just for people to consume cannabis. And
Gotcha.
you don't have to have the product in place. You just have to have a space for people to consume
I gotcha.
cannabis and feel
Okay.
safe.
Thank you so
Because-
much.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it never happened before.
Okay,
Got
gotcha.
it.
Thank you so much.
Are there any other questions that we want to ask Manuel or Fazia?
Question.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Carlton.
Yes.
Go ahead, go for it.
Manuel Fazia, what y'all need to do is complete what you're doing, get your paperwork done, get your license. Your model that is out here in Harlem here is on 125th Street. It's called Gotham Buds. They went through the same procedures. They had a lot of problems getting their license locked in before they could actually open. They were open. People came in and visited, looked around. I don't know if anybody consumed anything, or whatever, any consumptions, but they had the same situation you're going through now, and they're right across the street from the Apollo.
The Apollo,
They
yeah.
got
I'm familiar.
They got their stuff together. They got their paperwork together. They fought for it. The owner and all them. I met with them. I reported it to the task force and let them know that I was over there, because we knew y'all was up on Broadway there. So we had to, I needed a model to even talk right now. Y'all need to go ahead and follow that model. Go visit the owner, Omar, and get some information from him so y'all could try to speed up your process. Your place is nice. I'm the one that visited y'all in the summertime.
I remember you, yes.
That's-
I had a conversation with you outside,
Got-
yes.
Yeah, we was
Yeah,
outside. That
yeah.
beautiful place. Y'all just get it together, and that's that. Simple. Just work on it, get it together, and that's that.
And stay in touch with us. And
So
think about
Carlton,
and consider closing for a little
but so
while.
Carlton, so you're saying, Carlton, that that establishment on 125th is his as well?
No, it's not.
That's what I'm asking him.
I did not switch anything. I'm stating that I've been at both facilities,
Okay.
and I've seen the problem is compatible. They had a hard time over at Gotham Buds, even though they was at the Apollo. From what I heard, they were ahead of the jump too. They got a good jump on everything before input. Okay, I'm just saying, if Manuel and Fazia can work hard and show some
breaking up.
Just
I think you can better work with it. The place is beautiful. I've been up there. I saw it. I was there. It says
You're breaking up, Carlton.
Yeah, I got problems. You really even know it's Cannabis base. It's beautiful, but they just need to get the papers. Get the papers done, and that's it. When next time we come back and chat, we have good things, because Gotham Boys had a celebration. I filmed it. My wife filmed it. It was beautiful, and they legit people came and supported, and now they're good now. They don't have people in front of their stores. You don't even know it's just Gotham Boys, and they're across the street from the Apollo. Legendary.
All right.
Right.
Thank you, Carlton,
go.
for those words of encouragement to our two applicants.
Encouragement.
If there are no other questions to them or additional comments, we can say once again thank you and wish you all the best. Because as was stated, I know OCM is supposed to be making decisions, I guess, in terms of who will be officially able to set up and establish in the new year. So you're welcome to of course join us. you know, the community board meetings are open to those who are residents here. And of course, if you get a selected legally to have a business here, we want to engage with you and be supportive of you. And as Miriam indicated, know what your impact will be in the community. And hopefully, of course, work with you so that your impact is a positive one. We've done that with other individuals in the community that have helped us in terms of education, outreach, and supporting those in the community and making them aware. And so, you know, we're about that, and we want to be helpful to you if in fact the opportunity presents itself. So I definitely wanted to make sure I stated that. I don't know if there are any other additional comments from people here. If not, we'll say goodnight to both of you and wish you a happy new year and good luck. Any other comments?
No,
Okay. So then with that said, Manuel and Fazia, once again, thank you for joining us. Good luck. And
Thank you.
don't
Hi,
be a
ladies.
stranger.
lots of love.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Now, let's see. I'm going to navigate to see if we can remove them or make sure they're removed.
Do we have another?
No, we don't have anyone else.
Oh, so they were the two.
They were the two. They were
Okay.
together. So then we were good. We are good. So Manuel will step away.
Okie dokie.
All right. Thanks
Bye-bye.
again for coming.
Thank you, Manuel.
Thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good luck.
You ladies, have a great New
Thank
Year.
you.
And
Bye-bye.
gentlemen, yep.
You too. Happy New Year.
Happy
Good
New Year.
luck. Happy New Year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
So we're gonna move to the next part of our agenda as soon as Manuel steps away.
Was that the
Um,
first applicant that we reviewed?
No,
No.
no.
The third.
It isn't. Actually, we did a set at the beginning of December, Miriam. We had I want to say 3 people come before us.
Darius said two.
First illegal
Oh, was
shop
it 2?
for you?
It felt like 3 because there were so many people. What, Miriam?
Was it the first illegal shop to come in front of you?
Yes.
So they flat out lied. They have multiple locations in Manhattan, just so you guys know.
Oh, okay.
Indoor is a chain. They're in Chelsea. They're in Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Like
So
I
they
said,
weren't
they-
totally honest.
No.
I'm just saying.
yeah,
But
no,
you know
because
something,
there are
that's
times.
something that is part of the space that we have to also get used to. They're not comfortable. You know, it's not a space where you share information. So it's
Yeah.
culturally, I think for them, it's a learning curve to be legal. You know, they
Right.
don't know how to do that. They don't know how to do anything but make money.
Exactly. So my point was, you're still opening, making money,
You
and you're
caught them,
talking about doing
Carolyn.
legal. Uh-huh.
You got him though.
Yeah. I'm telling you, still opening, making money, and you're here before us. You're not closing the store. You don't give us any indication that you're even willing to close the store, but you're still making the money and you're open.
It's pretty bold.
I mean, that's more than bold. You know,
No,
but
yeah. I mean,
you know,
yeah. So that
I'm
is the
saying
first
he
time.
was totally dishonest. And personally speaking, I understood what Darius said, that we all for you. I mean, Darius was giving the praises for Dave, and I understand it, but I am not for him, okay? Because he told outright lie. He wasn't straightforward. So no, I'm definitely not in support of him.
I mean, as was stated, I think, I mean, quite frankly, I don't know how they were able to get to us if in fact the criteria is you can't be dabbling in a illegal establishment set up already.
Well, they can get to us. Anyone can give a notice to municipality. So it's not like there's nothing between
Are
anyone.
they approved? They're not approved yet.
No, these are just notice. We're responding. These meetings are responses to the notices of to municipality that
Correct.
they would like to come.
Anyone can apply.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do think though, that we should not, you know, I understand we have to ask the hard questions and y'all were asking them.
Right.
I do not, the part where we said, where's your money coming from? And well, it's illegal. And are you going to be honest and say that it's illegal? I don't think that we should, this is taped and this is official and this is going to be on YouTube and everywhere. I don't think that we should
Ask
ask
those
them to
questions.
no, I think we should ask the questions, but I don't think we should get into the minutia where it might incriminate them. They might incriminate
They
themselves.
incriminated themselves by.
They
Well,
already
they
incriminate
did.
themselves. Opening
Yeah,
They've
but
incriminated.
Yeah,
I
they did.
understand, but I don't think it's our place.
I can't believe that
to-
they came to the community board, not being residents, running an illegal business in our
Correct.
community board,
Correct.
defending it, and not and
Right.
until like that is just like that is as bad as it gets, guys.
I understand, but I'm
Yeah.
not talking about that. I'm
But
talking
how do
about
you?
our part in it,
But our
which
part
which
is to ask
different.
about the true
Our part
participants.
is, but I'm saying that asking somebody to literally, like, pointedly asking them to admit that they're running their business with illegal funds. There's a lot of implications to that specific question. And I just think that specific question, we should not ask these people.
If
I
you
Well,
don't,
he
look at
didn't
the
answer when they
applications,
when
those are the
when
specific questions you need to ask.
we are
when-
not, we are not OCM. Their application does not come to us. And there's a reason why it doesn't come to us.
well,
So
that's true too.
we have enough information to make good decisions off of without asking that. I'm only talking about that specific question. That is,
Well,
I'm
in
no
this
pushback on any
particular
of the other stuff.
instance, they were bold enough to come in here with an illegal business, making illegal money, applying
Because
for a
they're
legal
trying to
license.
get their license.
I get it. So are lots of other people not running
Right.
illegal businesses.
Right, but under no circumstance should we ask them a question that makes them incriminate themselves.
All
That's
right.
all.
Okay.
Okay,
all.
okay.
So
Well,
He
let me-
Carlton,
incriminated himself.
Right, he did. And let me say this here. By
what?
saying that his store is still open, he comes under the heading, not besides for being a liar, okay? Which we didn't call him that, but I'm saying, but you're still operating that business illegally.
Well, all of that is a yes, yes, and yes. I'm not
Right.
all of that. I have no no fight for any of that. We're all on the same
You're only
page
talking
with
about
that.
the question.
I am talking about
So
one
the
specific
question.
question. One.
Miriam asked
And
you and
that is it.
she answered it too. No, I
So,
understand what you're saying.
okay.
I
So,
think
so
I
maybe
didn't know
next
what
time,
to do.
so maybe next time, like you said, we won't delve into that type of question about illegal funds being used to establish a legal establishment. But in this case, the fact that he acknowledged that they're running an illegal establishment already
exactly.
sets them
That's
up.
enough
Exactly.
information. We
Right.
get it.
Yeah. So I think that, I mean, yeah, that was bold. And every time we do these, we learn something more and we'll
Right.
get better. And that's the whole point.
It's true.
And they learned something from us as well.
They sure
Carlton, you
did.
had your hands up. Go ahead, Carlton.
Yes, I believe they're a little bit novice to the pro ranks of this here. All the rules and regulations are still pounding in and being smoothed out and hammered out. Even we stated here as a member, board members, we're building a plane while we're flying. I'm not sticking up for nothing and nobody, but what I do know, I know they got to chase that paper in order to make like they're chasing the other paper. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
They got to chase those legal papers like they're chasing the money paper.
Right.
You understand?
That's why they had the nerve
Straight
to
street
show up.
rat.
Exactly.
Right. So
And,
yeah,
and I don't think they were so bold. I just think that they don't know enough. Because they weren't cocky. They wasn't smart talking or anything like that. They just they replied as honestly as they can. And some of the stuff that they were unaware of, and some of the stuff they you know, they try to slide it by, but they were about as honest enough because they don't know what we know, you know. And I don't think it was self-incriminating. I think it was self-truth more than anything. And they just got to get their papers together and case closed. Move to next.
He gotta get a lot more than papers together because he outright lied. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care how you put it. I don't care what color you
Yeah.
put it on it. He lied. He first of all, they also told a lie about them not being busted but one time because I know for a fact they were busted more than one time. Okay.
Okay.
That I know for a fact and it happened. So you don't have to admit it to me. I'm not the police. I'm just telling you what I know because I work with them. But the fact is that you've been busted more than one time. You can't say that you weren't. Okay. It's all on, it's a fact, it's a record. Okay. There's a lot of problems there alone because you understand that you have more than one location, which is all illegal dispensaries, which is all going to come out of OCM. In the outcome, it's all going to come out. So I'm saying, do I feel bad? Unfortunately, no, because if you came truthfully, then I would feel bad. But I don't feel bad because you outright lie. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what, not for anything, we learned about how they're operating.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
You know, they also learned something from us.
Hope so.
So hopefully they're gonna go back and get their papers in order, like Carlton said, and also take advantage of what Valencia mentioned, because her office is set up to help people who are trying to get into this business legally do it the right way. And you put your stuff up in the chat, so hopefully they took advantage of it. I mean, they took the information and they'll use it to come correct. If they want to do the right thing, then hopefully
Right.
this was an
I-
opportunity.
Right. I think one of the important questions is that which Miriam asked him about the rules and regulations. Did he read any of that? Had he taken any classes, which Miriam also asked? He said no, he hadn't. Okay.
Right.
So that was a problem right there. Okay.
Why
He
is that a problem?
So
Because he-
Daria, let me explain
Yeah,
to you
you
why
explain
that's
it,
a
Miriam.
problem. To be compliant in New York State is very different than running an illegal business. I did the 6-month training. I was part of that because I was going to apply for a processing license. This is serious. Like, you have to have software to track everything. You have to have sustainability plans. You have to know so much that in an illegal market, you don't have to because no one's checking you.
Exactly.
Legacy moves differently. And what I took away from this is that they need to understand how to move legally. Because
Right.
we're going to support them, but they don't know how to be honest. They're hustle. All they care about is the Benjamins. Because if you're a hustler, that's what you care about. Benjamin.
I think though that
and part of that transition is they have to stop being so
guarded,
and they have to start learning how to run legal businesses.
Absolutely,
and how to do
but
business
I don't.
legally.
But I think that is information that we should probably be given. I'm willing to guess and bet actually that we'll probably be giving the information as to where to go take a class more than getting people who already did go take a class.
Well, that kind of, so let me jump in on this. We've been now legal 3 years, right? 3 years. The amount of education and classes and initiatives going on in this city for people who want to join this industry are there. You have to want to do this.
So if they didn't go take a class, we're going to hold it against. I'm not.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
They're going to have to eventually take one, but if they come in here, I'm not going to hold it against them if they didn't already take a class. I'll hold it against them if they don't.
Just so you know, the graduates of those classes are the priority applicants.
Exactly.
Those are the
that doesn't.
But they're
also how many legacy people are all up, who you and I have been out here together. There's people like Happy Monkey who are on it and in touch, and they go to the things and all of that stuff. But most, and I'm comfortable saying most of the legacy operators are not plugged in that way. They're just not plugged in.
No, I
And
understand that.
eventually, like you're saying, Miriam, I totally agree. They're going to have to take the classes. I'm
Eventually.
just saying that in a meeting like this, I don't expect that most of them will have, I expect that most of them will not have already. And
With all
hopefully we
due
can-
respect, you should be asking every applicant if they were part of that.
Exactly.
Because
Okay.
there were over 300 growers and people who were specifically trained. This was a program with SUNY. You should be asking about this. Go on
Okay,
the website, it's all there.
I
We're not gonna hold
understand
it
if we
against them.
ask them, if we
It's
ask
not
them
holding
if-
it against them, but it is a criteria to their seriousness about crossing over into legit.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not
if
holding
they're
it
put-
against them. I'm just saying that they lied. That's my only problem.
We're
I'm
not,
not
I'm
holding it against
talking
them.
about people in I'm talking about everybody. I'm not talking about these people. But I mean, but we do know, like Miriam was saying, they got all kind of sayings about not talking. The game is to be sold, not told, and all of that. They
Well, yeah.
they are not the most forthcoming bunch.
No, they're not.
But if they want to be legal, they have to transition.
Exactly.
It's a
Of
learning
course
curve.
they do.
It's a learning
Yeah.
curve. The
Can
same
I-
way we all went through it, they're all going through it.
Right. They can't get a
Exactly.
pass because the fact that they didn't is they have
I'm
to
not
go and do it.
suggesting a pass. I'm just simply reminding us that just like we're learning as we go, so are the applicants.
Right. And
No, I got that.
we're
I get
all
it.
learning. So I
We're all
mean,
learning. you
so
know.
this applicant came before us. We learned something different and new, and we can add that to our repertoire of things to ask as we get more people coming forward, especially since there's going to be another rollout of new applicants under a different criteria and things that we need to be mindful of to ask. And I think that they definitely set a foundation for things for us to be mindful of. I mean, it was quite edifying experience for me, I will say, as somebody. Every time I do
Right.
these, I learn more.
Well, it's
And
good.
So are we going to do a vote? Because we've done 3 now, and the other 2 were a few weeks ago, and we didn't vote on,
well, we had already, and before I answer that question, Valencia, did you have a question or comment?
No, I just wanted to say that, yes, there is a lot of, I think, misinformation about many of the people that are wanting to get into the industry. They don't know that they have trainings and they have support and they have things to learn before starting a business into this new era of legalization or after prohibition that happened. And I feel like that's what I'm here. I'm part of the OCM ramification part of it. And there's a lot of support that people can have. They have us as a TAP or technical assistance person, or I forgot the rest of it. Or they have a lot of courses they can take, and they can call and they can reach out. We did a lot of roadmaps and we did things like that. And I feel that that is a little bit of gap on it because we're understaffed, to be honest. We don't have a lot of people going around everywhere and every places that we wanted to open or say that this is legal, this is illegal. So yes, this is what what we are here for. My colleague Jordan Green is covering also Upper Manhattan area, and he covers 25 under, and we're trying to do the best we can. But yes, we are understaffed, and we hopefully will cover all of these gaps that applicants or future licensees don't have. And that's what I'm trying to say.
So thank you. Yeah, we understand that this is rolling out and it's evolving as it rolls out, and we've heard different things going to even different meetings, and community boards are trying to do the right thing. I think a question that Daria asked And I know a lot of us had the similar question, and I wanted to put it out there and then try to transition to the next thing item on the agenda, because it's because I have a hard break. I wanted to have a hard break at 8:30. We can go a little bit past that,
Sure.
but the question I had, Daria, if I heard you correctly, so far we've reached out to a few to a total of about 13 applicants. We've only met with about 3 now so far. Some of them haven't and some of those applicants have applied for multiple locations. We've already reviewed information that was sent and already decided as a community board if we objected versus support potential locations that people have brought before us. We've sent our comments to OCM, and we know that's a community board that we're able to weigh in. So for people who maybe don't come before us, and if we've already decided on what our opinion will be, if we support versus not, I know for myself, I'm kind of confused about the process. We submit our comment to OCM, and then what happens? I mean, do we still try to meet with the applicant if at some point? And do we even share with the applicant what our comments are? Like, this applicant is pretty straightforward, the one that we met with tonight, that we have concerns about them, and they need to show that they are doing the right thing in order to establish themselves properly. So I guess there would be an objection, right? I think I heard that from the group.
Wouldn't there be a vote?
Well, I don't know. I guess as a committee and chair, you can jump in. Do we vote at least on this application and say, oh, we object, or we are supporting? And then that's something that we would write up and present to the executive committee, and then of course send it to OCM.
I think you could take people's comments and then make a decision based on, the group's comments and move forward from there. I think that would be the wise thing to do. There's one point I wanted to make, as far as their location being, how close is it to the other applicant we interviewed on 145th by McDonald's? Is it 1,000 feet away from there or not?
I think 1,000 feet is about 3 blocks from what I
Correct.
gather from looking up.
That's not 3 blocks.
So that's not 3 blocks.
Not 3 blocks.
However, and
Yeah,
you can, Valeska, you can let me know it. Maybe you know this, because we were talking about, does it count if it's across the street? Because I think right now that the way the regs are, the 1,000 feet would mean even on the same side of the street, down the street. And that's one of the things that I was going to bring up when we talk about our particular community board, our regulations, our guidelines,
Yeah.
whether we want to count across the street, because I don't think they count that.
Correct.
with
They don't
OCM,
count
right?
across the street.
It
It's
only means on the same side of the street.
Correct. You can even, to just kind of fake it or make it, you can even count the other side of the street to make it your way. If
Right,
you
and
did.
I think
So,
that we
yes,
should.
and that's what other, like, I don't know how familiar have you been with the dispensaries that are open, but the one in Delancey Street registered themselves on the other side of the street because a school was to something very close to them. So they played by counterpart the other side of the street. So
My question also is the location sizes. If you've been to the legal dispensaries, you don't just walk into the dispensary and you're in the dispensary, there's like a little waiting area, and I'm trying to visualize if these guys were applying to just convert their illegal spot to legal, that's not big enough.
Correct. But you
So
can make
keep
it,
in mind that the space, you don't walk into a dispensary and you're in the merchandise. There's like a little,
Mm,
all of them, Union Square has it.
no, but
They all
they
have,
open,
they're
open
not
one
small
front.
spaces. Like there's no legal dispensary the size of that illegal one.
Is
You
that a
know what?
regulation though?
Most
We
dispensaries.
should check it. We
for
should
you.
check it because they all have like that little waiting area where they
Right.
check your ID.
Right.
Yeah, but the one they open in the Bronx is called Hush, and they don't have a waiting area.
That's the
And
Bronx.
it's correct. Just check it out. It's called Hush something. I forgot.
Well, I'm just saying, based on all the we're in Manhattan, so I'm
Correct.
basing it off all the dispensaries that are in Manhattan.
No, not necessarily. It doesn't have to be by borough, but
No.
but
I'm
the ones
I'm
in
just telling you from all the stores I've gone to. I'm not like foreign to the stores. I've been to Conbud. I've been to all the ones downtown. Actually, I know most of the owners. So I'm just logistically, is that something we need to think about? The space.
Why do we
design
care?
of
Why
the
do they
space.
care if we care if they have an alcove? Why, like, what is your,
It's not a thing that you have to have.
Okay, so it's not a thing.
but
Not at
what is
all.
your reason
You have
for
to
like
have like a
wanting
security
it, Miriam?
person.
Do you
Right.
have is there a reason?
One, you don't see the merchandise from the street level.
Well,
If
but the
you see
windows
all
are
these
black.
dispensaries, you kind of don't see the stuff from the street level. They kind of have a barrier, and
Right.
that's where security is.
Right.
And if you actually go to other states, you have a waiting room before you enter dispensaries.
Not
It's
in
a safety
Ohio.
thing.
Not in Ohio.
Colorado is like that.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
in
I know.
It's not
Okay.
illegal.
It was just a question. It was
All
just
right.
a question because
It's a good
I'm
part of the
thinking of their
discussion.
space, and I have not seen a small dispensary, a legal dispensary like that, because there has to be some space for security.
Yeah, I don't, for me,
Hmm.
considering that it is New York City and especially Manhattan, I think that requiring that they add square footage though could be cost prohibitive and could be, space prohibitive for people. So for that, if it's not a regulation with
Again, I was just
OCM,
asking.
yeah,
No, it's not.
we're just having a conversation, and I'm glad you brought it up because I've noticed that too, but I didn't know if it was a regulation. or
Illegal
not.
shops do not represent legal shops.
Right.
I don't
Right.
They're not a
I
good.
haven't been in an
representation.
illegal shop, so I don't know what they're doing in there.
So the question that came up earlier
Yes,
is, I guess at least for this applicant tonight, do we want to take a vote on this application? It sounds like we should, and be prepared to write comments that we would submit to OCM.
All right. Should we take a vote on all the other two as well that we did the last meeting, or how does that work?
Well, I wasn't there the last time, so.
I mean, the last meeting, well, okay, we're talking about Courtney, I believe, and oh my gosh, Courtney, who was let me look at A, B, M, and I have to look them up.
Okay.
on.
Wouldn't it kind of be the same, the same procedure as liquor licenses? It comes before the committee and then we take it before the board?
You gotta write it up. Like I write up the liquor licenses, you would have to write it up with the name.
Correct area.
You would have to write it up.
Well, I guess writing up would mean, do we object versus not object? So this one is status quo. That is the name of their establishment.
The one that came tonight?
Correct.
That's an ironic name.
Yeah.
It is
To say the
ironic.
least.
Considering they have an illegal shop, status quo.
Exactly.
Well,
They're pretty bold, guys.
Well, guys,
Yeah,
I'm going
you
to
really
say
are.
goodbye.
All right.
Thank you so much for having it, but I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
have to-
Valencia. And we hope we appreciate your comments and your
I'm gonna leave my information on the chat before I leave, but I have
yes,
to go
please.
there now, okay?
Please do that.
And then I will join every task force from now on till we
Okay.
get you know, like something going on in the community. Okay?
Sounds
But
like a plan.
Okay.
I'll be sitting community board 9, 10, and 12 from now on
Okay.
till the end of the fiscal year that we have another round of representations as well.
And when is your fiscal year conclude?
June
Okay.
30th. Sorry, I was like June 30th. I'll
Got
leave
it.
my in the chat and then I'll leave for now. Okay. But
Thank
thank you
you.
for having me. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Likewise. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
Victor.
Can
So
you promote me
on-
to can you please promote me? Apparently it says I'm a guest and I won't be able to save the chat if I stay. a guest.
no problem.
Thank you.
I would make you a
Panelist or whatever everybody else is.
I don't see that as an option. Either host or co-host.
Oh.
I mean, I don't mind making you a co-host if
Will
that
you make me a
allows.
co-host so and then at least I can save the chat?
Right. I actually was trying to do that myself. Save the chat.
It let me
Thank-
save it, Daria. Just hit the little dots and it saves chat.
Right. I don't see the
The three little dots?
ellipses.
Yeah, I
So-
know how to save it. It was just it actually has a message here that says I wouldn't be able to.
That's weird.
Okay. Can you see
I got it.
now?
Thank you.
Okay. So I just want to go back and look. So tonight we did status quo came before us. The other one actually who came in as new, but we spoke to them on December 15th was AB and MP. That was Courtney Dow and her and her crew that came with us. And I think in terms of the one, so she's the one that is establishing a location on 145th Street next to the McDonald's and Broadway. And we had that extensive conversation with her. And I think we didn't necessarily have an objection to their application. We had expressed concern in terms of the gathering of people at the McDonald's. But we thought, if I recall correctly, that they were okay to establish there if you guys, if my recollection is correct. And it had a few names, but AB and MP is who came before us. That's when we were speaking with Courtney and the other members of her team.
Is that really a good location? That's
My
a
personal
real
opinion,
dicey
no.
corner.
My
It's a
personal
hot
opinion.
corner, as you said, because the McDonald's has a
It's
lot
not
of
just
activity.
all the messenger bikes, they all converge there. There's a lot of activity on that
Which
corner.
makes it good for a business. There's a lot of activity and there's the subway right there.
That could be
Right.
hazardous.
I mean, we had asked them at the time, what were they going to do in terms of controlling the crowd, especially if they spill over from McDonald's. And I felt that their response seemed pretty cohesive in terms of how they were going to try to control the crowd and monitor what was going on. Because I remember asking that question and somebody else asked it after me. And so
Are we going to vote on each one separately or?
I wasn't there.
I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if
so
we
you
were
know,
going-
that McDonald's is also a place where young people hang out.
True.
So I don't know how this task force or community board, I'm just saying that you can smile, Daria, but it's the truth. That's a hangout for young people.
It is. It is. It is because they're there every day.
We, I mean, we asked those questions of them, Miriam, when they
And what
Yeah,
did
came.
they
kids
say?
smoke reefers though.
They had proposed, I mean, when they were speaking, and one of the people on it, a gentleman who was an older gentleman that seemed to have quite a bit of experience running different establishments, they talked about having security and being able to monitor what was happening, at least in front of their establishment, and making sure that people weren't lingering and controlling and being very conscious about controlling the crowd, if I recall correctly, because we did ask that question straight on. Come on, guys. I know I wasn't the only one there. Did you recall that conversation and the responses from Courtney and the gentleman whose name is escaping me at the moment? I'm sorry. Her partner.
Monique, I can't help you. I wasn't there.
Yes,
I was there. Yes.
they were pretty sure that they could control the crowd.
Thank
They
you, Victor.
also said that they feel their clientele wouldn't be the regular people just walking off the street, that they would have a clientele that would buy a product and go home to
Right.
consume. That you know, it's just not the regular person walking down the street buying weed. They're still gonna cop weed at their regular spot. They're not gonna go to the, you know, the legal spot that's costs quite a bit more. And they said they'd have security inside and out. That was my recollection of what they said.
Right.
They said they'd also have a two-door system. You come in one door, it locks, and then they buzz you in the second door. That was what I remember them saying.
Right. That's what I
I don't
remember
know.
too.
I just having been part of legal states prior to New York, a McDonald's next to a dispensary is not something that you see in most states because it's understood that one is not, you know what I mean?
Cohesive with
If
the
you
other.
look at most places, you kind of pick areas in your community. I'm not saying that it's, and I'm the one who's the medical marijuana patient who supports cannabis, but I also think there's a fine line of where you put cannabis products and expose children to. And if you're promoting cannabis next to a McDonald's, if that's what we stand for as a community, hey, but you don't see that in any other neighborhood for a reason.
Well, I will tell you one thing that came up as a concern. One of the applicants, he has a liquor store. We could go back to the McDonald's thing in a minute, but there was one applicant who presently owns a liquor store on Broadway and wants to open up a cannabis shop next to, I think, the liquor store, if I recall correctly.
Can we talk about them one at a time? And because we got a lot, I mean, there's a lot. Do you want to go to that one, or because that's a lot too? But if we're gonna vote, why don't we vote on the one that we're on? Or
Okay,
I don't know.
fair
You're
enough.
the chair.
Where is the liquor store that he owns?
No, well, no, you know what? I'm going to be quiet. Let me retract that. And let's go back. Let's even go back to the one tonight, because that one, we just finished talking to this one, status quo. What is the vote for status quo, guys?
Are you asking one at a time?
We don't have a secretary to call each of the members.
Oh,
I'll call him if you want me to, but no, okay.
Should I be the one calling? You mean calling each person and asking them for a vote? I mean, for everybody who was on here tonight, I could call everybody by name and ask what your vote is. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of
And
us
it'll
on
be
here.
quick.
Right. So,
It's only 6 of us.
7.
Where's the 7th person?
Chris is on the phone, but she's here.
Okay, yes, all right. I forgot.
All right. So let's start with status quo tonight, everyone. So go ahead. Victor, you want to start?
Yes, if you, sure, I vote not in favor of them.
Okay. Miriam?
No.
Okay. Daria?
Come back to me.
Carlton?
Abstain.
Abstain?
Hey,
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Carolyn,
Not in favor.
not in favor. Chris,
You're on the phone.
get off the phone.
Yeah, she's on the phone. She's on the phone, Monique.
okay.
She's
I-
off now.
Here she is.
Chris, you're
You're
muted.
muted.
Yeah, sorry, I apologize. I had to take a phone call. I apologize.
What is your position regarding this applicant tonight? Are you in favor of them moving forward with establishment on that location on Broadway? Yes or no?
They didn't make a real good impression on me, to be honest about it.
So would that be no?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. And I'm a no.
Okay.
Hey,
And I'm
No.
gonna abstain. I'm gonna abstain.
Who's
Okay.
abstaining?
but
One,
that's a no.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's a no.
Okay.
No.
So there are 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wait a
5.
minute, Laquita is coming back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where is she?
So Laquita, right, just in time.
All right. Yeah. I had text her. Laquita, we're taking a vote on tonight's applicant.
You're muted.
And I think you heard most of the comments, correct?
Yes, I had to get unmuted. I believe so. Um, you know, I'm kind of mixed because I understand that they're not licensed and but one of them certainly shows that they have some, I think, business experience, Fazia. But I guess I would vote in favor.
Okay.
How did the others feel about it?
So there's 8 of
None.
us and 5 of us said no.
Well, I'm willing. I'm willing to change
My,
that
I didn't
simply
know.
because
They did not succeed. Wow.
simply because
You don't have to change
being
it, Laquita.
illegal,
It's
that
still,
bothered me. But if
Yeah.
everyone,
They lie.
I was not terribly impressed, but at
Why
the
you
same
gonna vote
time,
for
I
it?
know we're trying to give people
a
an
chance.
opportunity. So anyway, I'm okay with a no. I wish I had heard some of the discussion you guys had afterwards, but I was kicked out of my location right at 8.
Gotcha.
But anyhow, I'm willing to switch, and that's no pressure.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so then the ones that we met with on December 15th, and I know not all of you were on that discussion. So, I mean, the 2 people who came before us, the name of their establishments were Midnight Moon. That was the Lionel. I know I'm not saying his name correctly. Lionel. I'm trying to do the Spanish accent. Midnight Moon is located on Broadway. This exact location or address was, and I could open up the application and share it with you, but it's not saying much on here. The location is, I believe, 1536 Amsterdam Avenue is the location. One of the things that stood out from that conversation with that gentleman was the fact that he already operates a liquor store. And he was looking, I guess because of his success with the liquor store, he was looking to go and move into the cannabis business because he already, I guess, has clientele. And I think that's one of the things that stood out from that application. I'm trying to think of, was there anything else? But that was a big deal. According to
They're sort of similar to
conversations that
they're
followed.
sort of similar to the ones tonight in a way, you know.
Midnight Moon.
There's no similarity because he has a liquor store, which is different.
Is
What
there,
did
I
Carolyn
know
say?
that you can't have a liquor license and a cannabis license, but I don't know what the rules are with having a liquor store and a cannabis retail store. But I know
I'm
you
not
can't
sure either.
hold it.
I'm not sure either, Mary,
I also wanted
but I could check.
to bring up, the fact that in our guidelines, and this is not for now since this is a vote, but I just want to put it out there that there, as far as I know, in the regs, they don't,
Oh.
liquor and cannabis there doesn't seem to be like a crossover. So technically you could have liquor and cannabis on the same block. And I think in our guidelines that we should consider that we should put in our guidelines that there cannot be, that any establishment, whether it's liquor or cannabis, falls within the guidelines. So you cannot have liquor or cannabis within 1,000 feet. You know what I mean? Because otherwise we
Yeah.
could end up having an establishment on every block.
Hmm.
We also
Um,
need to check Amsterdam because there's schools and churches on every other block.
So
Yeah,
wait,
but there's
before,
already a liquor store there, and I think he either wanted to put the cannabis next door or in the same building. Now, what I do think though is
Cannot
if
do
it's
that.
in the
You can't
same
do that.
building,
Can't do
Yeah,
it.
you can't do
but
that.
that's not
do it.
that's not for us. That is OCM.
Yeah, but
But
that's a law.
unless
Yeah,
we
but
put
when
it
we
in our
review
guidelines.
applicants,
but that's a law.
it is
You
an
cannot be
assume
that
that
close
we know the
together.
regs. If
Well-
we're reviewing applicants, in all fairness to the applicants, we need to know the regs.
right,
So
Right.
we should
Right.
know this liquor license. I know they can't have like a bar, like a liquor license for a bar and a retail, but I don't know the rules for a store.
well, we don't either. And OCM, I don't think was very clear in some cases in terms of, what rules apply to when. And that's a whole other issue. But I want to say quickly, we had sent a note or had expressed concern before we even knew about the liquor store. One of the concerns that came up with that establishment was it being not too far. I think we said from the park. I was looking at some notes. So there was a concern about it being close. I think we wrote River Bank State Park, it being near there. Yeah, due to its proximity to Riverbank State Park, which holds a lot of youth programming. So I know that we had expressed objection to Lionel at that time, saying that how would he deal with the youth that might be nearby? And he had gone into a long, not he had given a long response in terms of how he felt he could control the crowd and make sure appropriate individuals went into the establishment. So we did ask the question about that, but being by the park is still a concern on top of the fact that he is going to be near a liquor store, which did come up. So
Wait a minute. I'm lost. The one Lionel that you said is
Midnight Moon.
close to Riverbank State Park. So what does the liquor store
He's
have to
on
do with it?
Amsterdam.
He's on Amsterdam. It's
Okay.
Jacob Schiff Park across the
Oh,
street from
okay.
the store.
But
Jacob
that's
But
not a
the
Schiff.
state park.
people
Oh,
that
yeah.
go, people
Yeah.
that go and buy in a legal dispensary are not, it's not like this is, like akin to like winos who go in a liquor store and then go get drunk in the park. People who go into a legal establishment to buy cannabis are not, the same people that are going to go. They're not children. They're not going to go hang out in the park and get high.
You can't say that because you don't know.
Okay, well, she's entitled to her opinion.
Well, I'm just saying that's her opinion. I'm not
Right,
disagreeing.
that's
I'm
her
just saying.
opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Okay.
issue, I think Miriam and I probably brought this up when they were there, their proximity to two schools in the area.
Exactly.
Now
One
that-
school right next block down. I mentioned it to him. He said he even had problem with
The
kids.
middle school.
But
kids
aren't they
coming in-
across the street?
Say again?
Aren't they across the street? They're not
Yeah.
on the same side of the street. So
Yeah.
we got to put in our guide. So
Right.
the way the regs are written across the street, proximity doesn't count. So we have to put that in our regulation.
Okay, but we can
Okay.
still,
Our
we can
guidelines.
deny it because of that. It's close to 2 schools,
Yeah,
Okay.
okay?
Right,
That's just my opinion. I'm just giving my opinion. This is
Right.
committee, I don't, you know, so I'm just saying that. And
Yeah,
he
and
admitted,
also-
he admitted that he had problems occasionally with young people coming to the wine store himself. And I asked how he was gonna, you know, deal with that. And he said, you know, they chased him away. So, just a factor, you know, for consideration. That's all.
Yeah, and I
So-
don't think that cannabis and alcohol establishment should be on the same block.
I agree.
Another point.
so then if that, in fact,
Let's keep
it-
in mind, consumption lounges are another license that's gonna come before us.
right,
So retail is just one of 9. So
Right.
keep that in mind, that we might have cannabis bars applying in January. So you have to start visualizing where cannabis lives in our community.
Yeah.
well,
And not
so in
on-
terms of this application for Midnight Moon, are we, so let's take a vote.
Wait a
Even
minute, can I just get a clarification, please? I'm sorry. Can I
Yes,
just
Chris.
quickly? Okay, so this application, Midnight Moves, is that the name of it?
Yes,
Okay, so it's close to a school. Am I right about that?
yeah, it's their park. And we
Okay.
wrote the wrong park. We wrote Riverbank State Park, but it's Jacob Schiff. And it is
But-
near a school.
But Chris, it's near the way the regs are written, it doesn't, it being the proximity technically does not count because across the street doesn't count.
Well, it counts with me. Thank you for
It
answering my
counts
question.
with me too.
All right, but
but
number
just-
number two, did I hear somebody say that they didn't believe that a liquor store and a marijuana store should be on the same block? Did I hear somebody say that?
Daria,
Yes.
Yeah, I happen to agree with that too. Okay, so that's what we're going to vote on now. That one.
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, I'm ready whenever you are.
So let's go for it. So Chris, what's your vote?
Okay, so I'm going to vote no.
Okay. So I'm going according to who I see. Carlton,
I'm gonna vote no, especially if it's anywhere near schools, churches, or.
The nasal spray
children.
cream.
what vote is this of?
this is for
Moon?
Midnight Moon.
Okay, I just want to know.
And Carlton, I'm sorry, what was your vote? It was hard to hear you.
I voted no, if
Okay.
it's around schools and churches.
Yes. Thank you.
What list
Um,
do you have for Laquita Henry? It should be a list of,
Hello?
list of stuff. I don't see any.
It's okay.
All right. Daria,
No,
no?
no.
Nothing
Okay.
that starts with an MU.
Victor?
No,
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Laquita?
No.
Okay. Carolyn?
Wasn't there.
Okay, fair enough.
But what I heard, no.
Okay. And I guess that leaves, and Miriam, well, she wasn't there either.
Yeah, I wasn't here, so I abstain.
Okay, for me, I was there, so I would say no, because I remember asking that question. So we are objecting to their location. Okay. And this is to their location, not to the applicant themselves. And then, so the last one would be A, B, and MP. They presented to us as well, the location that they're looking to establish a dispensary is on 145th, a few doors down from the McDonald's and Broadway, where the old Radio Shack used to be.
Right.
And you know, we started having that conversation, and we started having and expressing concerns to the applicant in terms of people gathering on the corner and things of that nature. And they did respond, as I started to say to you, with a plan to control the crowd and to make sure people weren't lingering. I mean, the response that they gave, I certainly felt comfortable that they were conscious and being mindful of where they were going and trying to be good neighbors to make sure that establishment was doing the right thing. I mean, that's what I got from them. So I don't know if there was anything else in terms of commentary, because Victor, you were there, Daria, is there anything else you wanted to add to that particular one? And this is the one when Courtney was speaking, and I keep forgetting the name of the gentleman that was also
I think
speaking.
it was Frank or
Ralph,
something.
I think his name was Ralph.
Was it Ralph? I, I would just like to say really quickly, my concern with them is that they clearly, Courtney never said a word most of the meeting. Ralph did all the talking. However, they said Courtney is the applicant. So it's clearly a bait and switch kind of situation. Which, you know, don't get me wrong. For instance, if, you know, somebody wanted to apply because they're eligible, they may not have the know-how, they may not have the money. So they might have somebody who's advising them or helping them, or even helping them with the money or whatever. It just felt very much like, it felt like a bait and switch to me. Like, because everyone else, the attorney did some talking, but Ralph or Frank, whatever the gentleman's name is, did all of the talking. The young lady, you asked her one question, I believe, and she couldn't answer it. Like she knew nothing about it. So it feels like almost like she's getting the license for someone.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the things that you know, and I know Miriam, you've talked about it too, that we're very concerned about people being used by others and especially by MSOs. And Ralph did tell us that he has been an advisor in multiple states.
Correct.
In cannabis. So that was my concern, because Courtney, none of them live in the community. They didn't give a real good reason about why they wanted to be in this community. And it's clearly a bait and switch to me. Okay, sorry. I
want to add to that. You know,
Yeah.
I was part of that. What you're calling out, Daria, is absolutely happening in the industry right now. Social equity applicants are being approached by out-of-state people and they're being pitched to be 51% owner or 50%. I was approached. You know, I have a CBD brand. I was one of the I did the OCM. I was planning on being a brand, you know, a body care line. I was approached by people from Michigan. So this is very much happening. And something that I'm not seeing here is, where's our social equity applicants? These are all capitalists. These aren't the guys that we're trying to help. These are people making a ton of money right now. Mm-hmm. Everyone that you've mentioned, they seem to be making money. If you have a liquor store, you just want to get into cannabis to make money. You know, this what you just mentioned is why you have to ask about the TPI, because these are people who are using social equity applicants, telling them they'll pay for everything, just be the face.
I know Victor asked that question.
And I don't know, that's a question for us. How do we feel about that? Because again, that could be Courtney's only way into this industry.
Right.
Correct.
It's tricky. It's tricky.
I know Victor asked that question straight out because Ralph was doing all the talking. And even though I'm like, well, because I thought Courtney's name was on the application and Ralph inserted himself in. So, yeah. So
Courtney wasn't even in the room when the meeting started. She came later and Ralph was already talking.
Originally, that's correct.
Yeah,
she wasn't even in the room. She's the owner. Like, who was she?
She was.
Yeah, she's the owner.
She was the name on the application.
Right. She was the name on the application.
And there was a whole legal team representing her.
They had one lawyer. They had a lawyer.
That's out of state money.
And they had an advisor.
That's out of state money.
Ralph
That was Ralph.
was an advisor. who's done work in California, did some growing upstate New York, I believe, as well. So,
But he
you know,
said
based
they were
on that,
local.
it was just
Like
very
flim
suspicious
flam.
of, you know, that point.
It's too much.
Yeah, I mean, this is what, because in fact, like I said, we got 4 more applications that came in. So this came in on November 30th and we got 23rd. And this name is slightly different from the one that we discussed with them, but it's the same applicant. So her name is on here, Courtney. She signed, but you know, this is the name of the, I guess, firm representing her,
That's
Emerge
the law
Law
group.
Group. Huh?
Law group.
Yeah.
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 And I was trying to look at this other stuff here, which was sent. And I can make sure it gets uploaded. But to all the comments that were made, yeah, Courtney didn't speak at very much. The lawyer spoke, and Ralph. Ralph was very verbal. Chris, go ahead. You're muted, Chris.
Thank you. Are we gonna vote on them? Because I'm ready to vote.
We can't vote if there are no other questions. So
I just want to say real quick, thank you for all your background. The way I was taught, you do not get a second chance to make a first impression.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
There's a lot on the line here.
Yeah.
And I, for one, have noticed, I mean, in the past 2 years, I've noticed how neighborhood thugs like to hit these marijuana shops, you know, and so it's going to attract underage people. It's going to attract some neighborhood thugs out to make a quick buck, you know, and people who don't seem like they really know their business or seem inattentive to the need to reassure the community. We don't have to say yes to them. That's just my little 2 cents. Thank you.
Okay. So you're saying no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Very good. Carolyn.
No.
Based on what you heard.
Based on what I heard, no.
Okay. Carlton.
I'm not in favor.
I know you weren't there, Carlton.
Well, I would vote no anyway, especially if it pertains to kids having the pest by that area, get off the home, or even OE. I would vote no.
I didn't hear. Okay, I heard no. You know, I didn't hear the rest of what you said, but okay.
No.
No. Very good, Victor.
No.
Well, wasn't Laquita there for a minute, and then she had.
Yeah, I'm here.
Laquita, were you there in terms of that conversation with that applicant last week?
Is this the one where the attorney did most of the talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's, it was so much, there's a number of things, it was pretty lengthy. I don't know, I think basically, maybe I should abstain on that one.
Okay. Daria?
I'm gonna vote no.
Okay. Okay. Myself, I will vote no as well. And Miriam, you weren't there, but I don't know. So there you go. So we are
Monique, I'm sorry. Can I change my, not for this one, but for the applicant that came tonight? I'm gonna vote yes. I'm gonna vote yes.
Okay, so you abstained.
Because they're trying, I abstained, but
okay,
they're trying, and I want to see. We can't vote no on everybody.
Well,
I guess we could,
it's
but
up to you. It's up to you.
Right.
You won yes out of 7.
So then we have to write this up in some way and get this information to OCM. I guess change it because we had rendered a commentary for Midnight Moon before, which in this case, I think we sent an objection to OCM, so it's probably moot. This new one, I have to go back and look at what we had said before for Courtney, because I think, like I said, I think they have submitted more than one location. So I have to go back, but I mean, based on tonight, obviously we said no, and in status quo we said no. So
I changed my mind. I'm going back to abstain. 'Cause
okay,
listen, I forgot they told just a straight up lie. So I'm
Right,
sorry, I
right,
can't support
right.
that.
okay,
So
guys.
I'm
So
gonna keep it upstain.
so we're okay. So that's done, and I'll try to pull together a sentence to share with.
You sure now, Daria? You sure? Change again?
You
Just give
okay?
her a second. She'll change her mind again. Go ahead.
Going
Yep, see? She
once,
changed it.
going twice, and the gavel
So,
comes down.
right,
So
so,
the
The
gavel has
gavel
come
comes
down.
down.
The guillotine is done. Okay, so there we go. So guys, like I said, I really, because I have to get to Jersey to get to my mom. So
Can
I
I
will.
send my sorry.
So I'm gonna open this up, and the next part of this meeting was focused on trying to finalize these guidelines. And I sent them to you a few times, and I know based on conversations we've had with various entities, OCM, even the applicants, we wanted to tighten this up a bit to make sure that we had something to go by to help us in making a decision on voting on applicants, period. And I think the area of concern that we wanted to make sure was tight was around items such as on page 2 or 3 of this application, of this form, guidelines, the exact guidelines for licensing, looking at distance, noise, odor mitigation, and hours of operation, as well as the restricted licensing areas. I think that when this was done, this document a while ago, we were mindful and looking at different things that were available to us on the OCM site to help us in drafting this. But things I know have evolved since this was done probably early last year, February to be exact, if I'm not mistaken. And I definitely wanted people to take an opportunity to weigh in to see how we should tweak this if need be, so that we can get this tight and just be done with it because it's been lingering for a while. It's after 9, so I don't want to keep people anymore on this, but I would like to ask for sincerely for people to look at it. And like I said, I think pages 3 through 4 are probably areas that need review and maybe some slight tweaks. This matrix that we developed at the end was supposed to simplify things so that when we looked at an applicant or even listened to somebody, we could check off things that stood out for us so that it would help us in making a decision. Like even tonight, going through each application, we should be able to use this matrix to tick off stuff and reference it so that when we send stuff to OCM, we're clear as to why we're doing the things that we're doing. We were very thoughtful at the time when we put this together, but it's not to say that things can't be improved. And so what I would ask all of you to do is to please look at the application and try to send in your comments on what we should do to tweak it so that it's at a point where we can say it's done, because we need to be done, period. I'm tired of looking at it.
Is this the same document from before I took a leave of absence?
It is the same document.
Come on, Community Board 9, we got to do this. So this document will help us. If you give the guidelines to the applicants, they know what the criteria is to operate in our community.
I'll go
Like,
over
that's
it
the
over the
whole point
weekend,
of
Monique.
this.
Chris and Carolyn, would you please share your email addresses? Because if we could finish this on via email.
Yeah.
I thought I emailed okay.
I thought it was done.
I did too.
I thought I responded, but
responded.
Well,
I thought I
I
responded,
didn't.
but
I thought we were gonna discuss it. That would have been half an hour ago, though, 45 minutes.
that's
Right.
right.
I can
I'm getting
respond
ready
in
to get
writing
off.
as well.
Monique,
I
I
think
will
having
go over it
gone
over the weekend.
okay.
Having gone through some applications, I think
Thank
it'll
you,
help
Chris.
everyone look at it now really quickly. If something doesn't make sense, just call it out. And the
I'm getting off.
matrix is when that matrix is really important, because that's what we're going to measure them against because they're going to have to reapply every year. You get a license and you have to renew it every year. So they have to
wow.
that's why they have to kind of pay attention to our guidelines, because then we can pull that matrix out. You didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do that, and you could lose your license.
Right. So I would ask all of you, it's a holiday weekend, I know. But I would like to see us get this done. And I don't know if you have any time starting tomorrow to look over it, but I would ask you to look it over. Chris, your hand is up.
Did put my phone number and email in the chat.
I see it.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, Chris. I would ask you guys to take the opportunity to please look it over. You can send your comments towards to me. Well, I'm trying to see if we should do this as an email collective. I think you should send it to me. I'll compile it and share it back out. So that way there's not too much back and forward. And I can send it in another draft document for people to look at, and I'll try to compile everything and take everybody's suggestion into consideration so that we have one thing that we're looking at.
What
Right,
is the
I'll go over it
community?
over the weekend.
What?
I'll go over it over the weekend and get back to you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Yes, Daria.
Really quickly, number 3 and number 5, what is a community facility exactly? What do we mean by that?
I think that at the time we had, well, let me go look at it. And what page is that on?
It's in the guidelines. It says can't be an establishment can't be located within 500 feet from a community facility.
So I think we were looking at like an area. I'm sorry, what?
Parks.
Park is
Facility?
specified.
No, I think we were looking at an area where people might gather. Community facility is what
You mean like a Boys and
like
Girls Club?
like a
something
community like center or something like
community
that.
center?
Yeah.
Okay, like a rec center.
Like a senior center.
Okay, and
Right.
what do we mean by a harm reduction facility? We mean like a homeless
Methadone
shelter
clinic.
or a
A harm
domestic
reduction
violence? What does that
program. I'm sorry, Daria.
A methadone clinic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Good night,
think
all.
I think we should be clear on,
Okay.
well, that's one of the things. Okay, thank you. That's all I needed.
So I was gonna say
And then-
if we need to clarify language, that should be noted as well. So you should make that correction so that we can put that in there. So that there are
And Monique, I
Yeah.
think I have voted on this twice. So already it's in writing when you sent something out a couple of times for us to look at it. And I think one time was when Miriam was before she went on the leave. So my vote is yes, unless I see something glaring. Okay? Because I know I'm gonna be swamped.
Okay, so you're saying right now, because we did tweak it slightly. I don't think we tweaked it so much, Laquita, that is so different from what you looked at.
Yeah, but didn't you send out an email for all of us to look at this?
I mean, I did.
2 weeks ago?
We're
And I
editing right
sent
now.
I sent back, yes.
Yes, I did. I did send out a email.
Yeah, so my yes is there and, again, with the option to, if I see something, I'll say it if it's something new or if I see something in a different way. But
Okay.
otherwise, I'm yes.
So you're not gonna be making any edits because right now, based on what you saw, you were good.
Yes.
Well,
Okay, so I
You
would
know,
ask,
unless something hits me, zings me all of a sudden,
right,
then hopefully I have the liberty, to call back. But right now, with the work you and Miriam did on this, and Daria adding,
right. So,
it's
I'll
more
go
work
over
than
it.
I've done.
so what I will say is that you all have it. I would ask you to please, if your schedule permits, to look it over between tomorrow, because it's late, and over the weekend. And I'm not going to lie to you, I probably will try to get to it at the beginning after giving you guys time to send your comments. I'll probably get to it early next week and compile it together and share it. The goal will be to finalize the document so that I'm thinking, Victor, we can share it with the executive committee. But I mean, share with this committee first, once we agree what the final language would be, and then we'll send it to executive and then be
Right,
done.
right. Okay, I'll go over it, like I said, over the weekend, and I'll let you know.
Very good.
Okay, good night.
All right, so we're gonna call this meeting we're gonna adjourn this meeting at 9:14.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
So
So
moved.
move.
I mean,
I second.
Oh, I should have asked for a motion. Sorry, guys.
I said so move. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the happy hour. Everybody,
Right.
please be safe. Thank you for your time and for the robust discussion. We're on our way.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year to all.
Happy New
To
Year.
all. Miriam, take care. Feel better.
I will.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Good night. Thank you. Thank you
Night.
very much.
Night.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year,
Happy
everyone.
New Year. Merry Christmas to all.